Hi, did you miss me? Welcome back to Cooking with Ash. Today in the kitchen, I will be showing you step by step on how to prepare some delicious cheese roll. Cheese roll, one big roll, a unique way of doing it, making our life faster in the kitchen instead of rolling it out one by one. We'll just do a whole big roll and we'll get a big old cheese roll. So stay tuned for that. Sorry if I look a little rough in this video, but your gal is just getting over some sort of virus, okay? Yes, I'm getting over it. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and let's get this delicious cheese roll recipe rolling, baby. Here our pastry dough. I have my plain all-purpose flour here. I'm gonna go in with some cold butter and I'm gonna grate this into the flour. You want this to incorporate nicely into the flour. Now that I finished that step, I'm just gonna quickly, melt everything into the flour nicely here. Crumble it into the flour. There are many different ways to prepare your pastry dough. Some people prefer all butter. I did it like that before. Some prefer a mixture of butter and shortening, which I did before too. So today's recipe, we're going to use a combination of both. We're going to use butter and vegetable shortening. And you want to mix this in well into your flour until you have like a nice crumbly texture, more like wet beach sand. And that's when I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of vinegar and water to bring this dough together. What the vinegar does, it helps to keep your pastry fresh longer. It helps you to get a flakier pastry, and it inhibits the gluten and development in the flour. So do try it if you never try it. It does make a nice difference in your pastry dough. But do you see that? How nice the texture is? And another way of knowing that your flour have enough fat or butter is to simply hold it and crumble, compact it like this. When it holds it form, you know that you have enough fat into the pastry dough here. Now that I have all our fat nice and worked in here, I'm gonna go in with my little bit of vinegar, a little bit, and believe me, you're not going to taste it. You're not going to taste it. You're just gonna see the difference in the pastry dough. You want to mix that in, and now we're going to gradually add some ice cold water here. So I'm going to go ahead and gradually add some cold water, and I'll just put in the description box to use cold water because I never give the amount because everyone's flour texture is different. They observe liquid differently. So you're just going to mix this until, it combines. You don't want it to be too tough or too soft. And gradually add water because remember, this dough is very rich already with all the fat, and it's going to absorb the liquid very quickly. And this is the texture you're looking for. It's not sticky. It's still nice and firm. You see that? That's the texture. This is what our pastry dough is looking like now. I'm going to go ahead, put this in a cling wrap and put it in my refrigerator, for about half an hour or so all the fat can come back together. The warmth from my hand melt the fat. I'm going to go ahead and prepare our filling now. This is the brand of cheese I am using for my cheese roll. I love this cheese when it comes to making cheese roll. It's one of the best in my opinion. It's the Anchor brand, and it's a New Zealand cheddar cheese. Let's go ahead and prepare our cheese paste for our cheese roll. To prepare this cheese paste, you want it to be spreadable. You can shred your cheese if you like, but I'm just using the food processor to speed the process up. I cube up my cheese, I toss it in, and we're gonna flavor this up with some garlic and pepper and a little bit of mustard. Adding in my yellow mustard, and we're gonna go ahead and blend this up until it's nice and smooth and spreadable. So time to do these cheese rolls. This cheese roll, not these, okay? Because this is Justin's idea and invention. Every time I make cheese roll, he always say, Mom, why you roll out, individual cheese roll? And we did it this way before. I had a tea party I had to go to, and I take it, and let me tell you, it was a hit. So basically what we're doing for our cheese roll, we're rolling out this entire dough. Yeah, one big cheese roll. And you know, put our cheese filling in the middle, and then you're gonna roll it up like you roll Solara, and we're gonna bake it off, and then we're gonna cut it. The fastest cheese roll you ever gonna make in your life. And when I tell you it tastes just as delicious as individual cheese roll, believe me, you're not gonna miss the individual cheese roll. But you know, if you want to do individual rolls, you can go ahead and portion your dough out. It's the same way, and fill it with the filling individually like how we would usually do it. I have a recipe here on the channel to do it that way. I can put it in the description box. You see the dough is nice and delicate, nice and flaky with all the pockets of butter in it. That's what you want. So I must thank Justin for the recipe, okay? Justin, tell him how good it is. Justin, he's a cheese roll boy, okay? He loves himself a cheese roll. So you want to roll it out nice and thin because, you know, you're going to roll this entire dough. I have 1 egg that I beat up, no food coloring or anything in it. And I'm just going to brush the ends to seal this off, you know. You want to keep the cheese inside. Imagine the fastest cheese roll you'll ever make, and everybody's going to enjoy it just as much as individual cheese roll. This is our cheese paste that we made, and you're going to just spread it out. If you go spread out, you know, you just got to work with it, spread it out. I'm gonna spread it out and I'll be back because this takes a little bit to get it all spread out. Okay, now that we have this all nice and spread out, I'm gonna start folding or rolling the pastry like if you're rolling cheese roll, and you want to roll it nice and tight like so, a nice big log. Now we're going to go ahead and seal the ends off, like pinch the ends off. At the end of it here, we're gonna do one big cheese roll. We're gonna fork it, close it up, and then we're gonna fork it. We're gonna take the fork and we're gonna pinch it and press on it so you know the cheese is like evenly distributed throughout the cheese roll. So when you cut into it, you get cheese all over. Look at that. One big nice cheese roll. I'm gonna line my baking sheet with parchment paper. I'm gonna put it and I'll be back. So I went ahead and add this to my baking pan here. Make sure me get my little you know, forked end. Make it nice and pretty. And I'm gonna poke some indentation or a hole on top like if you're making cheese roll. And then I have my egg here, 1 egg beaten. If you want it to be very yellow and vibrant in color, you can go ahead and add a little bit of food coloring to this mixture. Today I'm not gonna add any. If you can't use egg, you can go ahead and brush the top of it with some milk. I'm just gonna glaze it at the top. I'm gonna have my oven preheated 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm gonna bake this off anywhere from 25 to 35 minutes until it's nice and golden brown. That's what we're looking for. So see you guys back with this new and delicious way of preparing cheese roll. Let's go ahead and talk about how beautiful this is looking. Look at that beautiful golden brown color. Of course, a little bit seep out, but that's totally fine. I am going to go in and cut into this so you can see what it's looking like on the inside. Justin is happy. I cut into it. Let's show them the cheese. Look how the cheese is oozing out. It's still very hot.
That's really good.
I know, you love it that way. You love it when I do it that way. How is the pastry?
It's soft, it's crunchy. It's soft on the inside, like really soft, and then so crunchy on the outside. Like
Flaky.
perfect.
Yeah, it's not really crunchy. It's like flaky. Yeah.
flaky.
And the cheese is oozing out, guys. When I tell you it's oozing out, it's oozing out. Like one of the best cheese roll ever. When I tell you it melts in your mouth, it literally melts in your mouth. I can't wait for you guys to give this recipe.
I prefer it this way.
You hear? You like it? Yep. And he is a cheese roll guy. When I tell you cheese roll guy, he is a cheese roll guy. So I can't wait for you guys to give this recipe a try and let us know your feedback and thoughts. It's such an easier way of doing it too. Thank you so much for joining us in the kitchen. Sending our love, thanks, and gratitude. See you soon with another delicious recipe.